Good morning. I don't know about this connection today. It seems kind of sticky. Uh, we'll see. If we freeze up a bit, then that's that. That's just how it goes. Um, Morning, Deb and Dave and Susan. Happy Saturday. Today is sunny. A little colder, but I think it's going to be warmer later in the day. I remember maybe a week back, I don't know, we were talking about Halloween and what we were going to do about Halloween, and I was looking at a crazy sort of extended forecast. It must have been at the beginning of October. And it had the weather being in the 60s all the way up until the actual day of Halloween, and then it was supposed to be 16 degrees and snowing, which I thought was kind of a strange forecast, and also extremely strange given that it was basically 60 degrees up until then. Since then, I have looked at some other extended forecasts, and it doesn't show that. But it does basically have the weather in the 60s until well into November. So that may be the case. I really don't know. But certainly an extremely warm fall, warmer than I think than usual. I don't think it usually gets super cold in the fall, though it seems like we do have some cold weather. It's just not this kind of extended cool weather. I don't know. It's weird. But there you go. Everything seems to be odd this year, so why not the weather as well? All right, so let's see. What should we talk about today? Let's talk about devotion. So, devotion is an interesting topic in yoga because there's actually an entire branch of yoga devoted to devotion. It's called Bhakti Yoga. So, we talk about these different sort of limbs in the yoga tree, and they're different paths of yoga. And all of them are, what one might consider valid, right, and good paths to the goal, right, this enlightenment goal. Hatha yoga is the asana practice. Raja yoga is sort of an action-based yoga. Same thing with karmic yoga or karma yoga, which is basically doing good works and good acts, right? Jnana yoga is knowledge, the knowledge yoga. So that is, like learning so much about yoga and reading about philosophy and understanding it from a very sort of mental and intellectual, let's say, point. Bhakti yoga is devotion, right? So, and what the idea is that you can choose one of these paths, all of these paths, a little of this, little of that, whatever suits you. There's no rule that you have to do it a certain way, but different paths may be more appealing to different people, and even at different points in your life, you might be more interested in one than the other. But all the paths lead to the end, so that's good. So bhakti is devotion, and that is this kind of sort of turning your life over to God, to universe, and the greater being. Um, if you have the music that I frequently play in class, I used to play in class, is what they call Kirtan, which is a form of devotional music, which one might say, the people that are performing this are Bhakti Yogas, so yogis. They are doing this, singing these songs and chanting as part of their devotion. You could also, have offerings to um, to the gods, or the God in a church or a temple. That's a form of Bhakti Yoga. Something that is very common in India is taking a pilgrimage and visiting temples, a series of temples. And some of them, as you go further up north toward the Himalayas, very, very hard to get to. You have to walk a lot and hike in pretty cold and mountainous terrain to get to some of these places. But that's, of course, part of the devotion, is the desire and the will to get there. So devotion and devotion to something greater than yourself is, it can be a very important part of your life, and an important part of kind of understanding our role in our life and other people's roles in our life. It's a great way of getting yourself out of the spotlight, right? So for some of us, it is hard to get ourselves out of our own way. So we tend to make everything about ourselves. We are selfish in many ways. We might not think we are, but many of us are. We tend to look at everything in life through our own filter. How is this going to affect me? What does this mean for me? And we don't maybe care as much about things that we think don't make any difference to us. Some of that is very normal, and it's a very common, reaction to feel that way, right? But some of it can get out of hand, right? So if you feel like you may have some issues with this, bhakti practices and devotion in general is a great way to turn it around. When we want to think of us as one big group, one big world, it's hard to do that when we keep putting ourselves first. We keep putting ourselves front and center. Working on devotion to something greater than ourselves puts us in a more appropriate place. We are not the only thing. We are just one of many. Family life is a great tool for this. So you think of it in kind of big way, and it's a little abstract, right? When you think about just being a part of the world family, it's easy to kind of get, whatever, that's a bit much to take. But think about it in your own family, right? You are one of so many in your family. You may think the things that you want are important, but they are only one voice in a group of people who all have things that they need that are important. So practicing putting other people first is very helpful. It's a devotion to something else, to something greater than yourself. The belief that you aren't the only thing that matters. You're just one voice. And it can feel like it's a small thing, right? But it's a real shift in the way we look at things. When you look at that in that way, all of those petty little things that bother you, that get on your nerves, become kind of comical, right? It just doesn't seem to be that important. we can focus on the needs of others instead of constantly worrying about whether we have enough, whether we've gotten what we think we need. Um, so there is, again, it's really it's very helpful, and I think it's something, if you haven't really ever thought of things that way, give it a try. Think about it. See if you can practice that for a day or a couple of days. Putting other people's desires first, letting them do what they want to do, um, thinking about them when you make your decisions. Um, you may already do this, right? A lot of people do. And it's not, if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, depending on your living circumstances, you may not have to do that. But that's one reason why a lot of times as we get older and if we're living on our own and things like that, we can get very focused on our own things. And we've maybe forgotten that. When we were right in the thick of things with everybody around and everyone was sort of fighting for their own way, it was easier to see that perspective. But we can change a little as things get different in our life. So getting back to that, devotion to something else. Another way to do this is really getting deeply into volunteering or doing something with an organization, right? That's another thing, something greater than yourself, right? One wonderful thing about organizations and groups is that you can do so much more than you can just on your own. It is a much, you can understand the power that there is in a group. I'm getting a message here. I think I got disconnected. I don't know. Are we connected again? Maybe. I can't tell. Hey, Dave, are we connected? You should tell me. I think maybe we're not. Oh, okay. It's fine. No, I got a message that this connection was unstable and they were disconnecting and reconnecting. I don't know. All right. This is not great. But anyway. Okay, so devotion. Consider that. Yeah, just consider that. It's very helpful if you are if you feel like you are someone who is very easily upset and likes things in a very precise way. That again, that is a sign that you are maybe a little too focused on your own stuff. And this idea of devotion and getting out of your own way here can help you. So. All right. So as we move through practice, let's devote the practice to somebody or something or some situation, right, in your life or in the world that you would like to send some positive energy towards, and see how that goes. So sitting up, breathe and relax. I'm actually really glad that this is what has happened some in other classes, this like freezing up of the screen and the unstable connection. And I've told my husband about it, and we reloaded the computer and did some stuff, and but of course it wasn't really doing it then. So now it's doing it, and he's watching the screen, so now he can see what I'm talking about. So finally. So breathe, relax the shoulders. And then hang the head down. Lifting the head up. Keep lifting the chin. Head drops back. And head back to center, lowering over to the side. Back up, and other side. And back up. Walk the hands out in front. And then fingertips pointing away from the body. Squeeze the shoulders back, gaze up. And then back up to your seat. Let's lean forward a little, move around. One way and then the other. And back up to your seat. Arms wide. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands, gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. Right hand down by your side, reach across with the left. Switch. Back up. Let's lift the shoulders and roll back. And then roll forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind, sit up tall, and take a twist. Back to center and switch. And then we're back to center again. Tabletop. And then child's pose. Back up. Tabletop cat-cow for a few sets. Inhales and exhales. And then moving from tabletop to downward dog. Walking it out. And then step the feet up to the hands. We're here in a fold. Rising up slowly. Standing tall. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back with the right. Drop the knee. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step back. Downward dog. Inhale. High plank. And then lower down. Inhale, lifting head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. Then lower. Once more, lifting up. And then lowering down. Moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. One more breath. And then step the right foot up. Set your left knee down. Arms overhead. And then hands to the mat. Step the back foot up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lift on your inhale. Arms overhead and back to mountain. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Moving back to downward dog. Coming forward to high plank. And then lower down. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lifting up. And back down again. Once more, lifting up and lower down. Tabletop to downward dog. One more breath. Left foot steps up. Right knee drops, arms overhead. And then hands down to the mat. Back foot steps up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting as we inhale, back to mountain. Deep breath in, and then out again. Let's step out to the side. So we're facing side of the mat. Take a deep breath, hands at the waist, and then we're leaning forward. Hands can stay up by the waist, or you can slide them down. See what feels good for you today. And then hands back to the waist. Engage the strength in the legs to help lift you up. Breath in and out. Let's turn to face the right. Right leg is out, left leg behind. Interlace the fingers. Draw the shoulders back. Fold forward. Come on back up, about halfway. Let's keep the hands behind. Shifting into that right leg. And then lifting up the left. Find your steadiness. Breathe. And then set the foot back down. Back foot steps up. Arms up overhead. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Stepping out. Again, facing the side of the mat. This time, let's bring hands behind. So you could interlace the fingers or grab wrists or forearms or elbows, whatever you want to do. We're just trying to pull the shoulders back. Deep breath. Fold forward. And rising up, take a breath. Release the hands, arms up overhead. And then back down by your side. Let's walk the feet in, shoulder width or thereabouts. For your squat, hands together and bend the knees, lower down. Nice and upright as much as you can through the body. Moving back up. Release the hands facing the front of the mat with the left leg out this time. You can release the fingers, shoulders back. Take a breath. Fold forward. We're going to rise up about halfway, shifting the weight into the left side. So that right leg is not that necessary. And then we're lifting up. And maybe tipping over. Who knows? See how everything works today. And breathe. And then set the foot back down. Arms overhead. Back to mountain. Take a breath. And we'll do a tree. So another balance. Standing on the left. Start with. Steady here. If you feel pretty good, arms might extend. But see where you are. See how steady you feel today. And then set the foot back down. Switch your sides. So we're standing on the right. Working whatever we can do on this side. Finding your steadiness. And then back onto both feet. Bicycle out the legs. From your mountain, we're going to lift up the right knee. Foot is flexed. So we have a lot of strength in both the standing leg and the lifted leg. Squeezing everything towards center. Setting back down. Switch. And back down. Bicycle legs. Come on up, top of the mat. Lift the arms. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, and we're just going to come down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Sitting up tall. Deep breath, and then fold forward. Coming back up, both legs out in front. Deep breath, fold forward. Moving back up. Let's point and flex the feet. And then moving around. Going one way and then the other. Bending right knee. Bring that in close to the body. And then we're lowering the knee out to the side. Right foot comes up next to the left thigh. Take a deep breath. And then we're going to just fold forward, reaching for the foot. Moving back up. We'll switch sides. Putting that left leg in and then lowering the knee out to the side. Deep breath, then fold forward. Back up, both legs out in front. Deep breath in, fold forward. Moving back up, bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. And we're going to lower down or rock back. So you're resting on the mat. Take a moment or two to get comfortable here. Maybe extend the legs long. Just bring the arms up overhead. And then we're going to walk down a little over to the right along with the legs. So making that banana asana, kind of curving the body a little to the side. But it doesn't have to be really extreme. We just want to feel that stretch along the left side. You can bring the left foot up so that you kind of cross the ankles. It'll give you a little more stretch. And then bringing everything back to center, we're going to move then the other way towards the left. Breathe. Back to center. Take a few breaths. Maybe bring the hands under the head. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to bring right ankle on top of left knee. Then maybe bringing the left thigh in towards the chest, or pressing the right knee away if you're going to keep the foot on the floor. Just working to stretch through that right hip. Then set the foot down. We're going to leave that right foot on top of the left knee. Goalpost arms or arms out to a T. And then lowering. Left knee down. The right foot is going along with it. Just going as far as you feel comfortable. Moving back. Let's switch. So we've got left ankle up on right knee, and then whatever we did on the one side, we'll do on this one. Set the foot down, and we're going to do the same thing here. lowering the right knee. And then back, both feet down onto the mat. I'm going to do supported bridge. You could do regular bridge here though too. If you got a block, supported bridge is great. If you don't, regular bridge is good too. So we're just lifting up. Find a place for your block or just hold for regular bridge and breathe. If you're doing regular bridge, you don't have to stay up as long as we would with supported, just as long as you feel is necessary for the day. And then lifting up, remove the block. Maybe you're already back down on the mat. That's fine. Feet together, knees apart. Take a few breaths. So when we're listening to our body and doing things that feel good for the day, I think a lot of times people feel like they're going to cheat, right? Or do too little. Like, oh, I'll just want to come down and not hold it for very long or whatever. And that may be so, right? That may be so for a while. But there are going to be days when you're going to feel like doing more. Trust that there will be. Yoga is the long game, right? We're not trying to do it once a month or whatever and really hurt ourselves while we're doing it. We're trying to do it every day. And when you do something every day or almost every day, you get tired of just doing the same thing, right? You'll want to do a little more. You'll want to change it up a little. And that's where that trust comes in. Just trust that you will know what is going to be good for you. And then just extend the legs. We're going to move into Shavasana. So laying flat on the mat, relaxed and breathing. Finding your peace and calm. So one great thing about devotion is when you have this love and affection and concern for the world, for a larger group than yourself, you can maybe turn that same feeling toward yourself, right? A lot of times people might think that being selfish and self-interested means that you really love yourself, but honestly, it's kind of the opposite, right? We often feel selfish and self-centered because we feel so terrible about ourselves. We don't think we're lovable. We don't think we deserve to be loved and given attention. And we think if we don't grab and hold on to every single thing we can, we'll get nothing. We don't deserve anything, right? So when we turn it around and we start thinking about our concern for other people and other people, what they might need, it becomes a little easier to be kind to ourselves, to know that we are just people too, just like everyone else. And if we think other people need those things, surely we do too. We are as worthy as anyone else. Perhaps no more worthy. Perhaps we don't deserve any more special treatment than anyone else does. Or maybe we all deserve special treatment. We are no better and no worse than anyone else. We have our light side and we have our dark side. We have times when we are going to really shine and times when we are going to be very ashamed of what we've done. That is true for us all. So if we care for others, if we think they are of value, we can then feel that way about ourselves too. And it's like a kind of an endless loop. The more love we can give, the more love we have, the more love we can give ourselves, the more kindness we share, the more kindness we have for ourselves. If we live in a world where everyone is a threat and a hazard, where everyone is trying to steal things from you and you have a very dim view of other people, how are you going to have a good view of yourself? You're a person too, right? If everyone else there is a jerk, well, so probably are you, right? It's all in how we look at things. So changing how we look at others and how we treat others is often a much easier thing to do than changing how we interact with ourselves. So maybe you start with others, and then we come around to helping yourself, helping you feel better about yourself. Which is, this is our goal. This is what we're trying to get. We do better. So when you're ready, then moving a bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet, getting yourself up to a seat. We'll bring hands together, deep breath in. Coming to your mat this morning for yoga and for sharing it with me. I hope you have a really good day. Namaste. Thank you. Let's do some meditation while we are in this peaceful state of mind. Hopefully, we are still in a peaceful state of mind. So finding a comfortable seat, or, if you want to lay back down, or maybe you're still lying down, that's fine. Just finding something that makes you feel comfortable. That's the main thing. Closing the eyes, looking for that peaceful focus. Coming back to awareness. Here we are. And we're done. Some yoga and meditation for your Saturday. And tomorrow is Sunday, so take a day off or come and do one of the tapes, and I will be back here on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, and I hope it is you can find something to feel devoted to over the weekend. How about that? All right, have a great day, couple of days.